Good evening, everyone. My name is Janet Pichardo. I'm the Director of Family and Community Engagement, and I want to welcome you to the Parent University session that we have this evening. I want to make sure that everyone is aware that today's topic is with regard to advanced academic opportunities for multilingual learner students. And so we have 5 panelists that will be available to provide the information that you need to be able to take advantage of these opportunities. And so I want to, in a few minutes, explain to you as we move forward, how you will be, what will be the format of this session. So first, before we begin with our session this evening, I wanted to go through a few norms. And so they're listed here, they're in English and Spanish. And for our families that are on the call, I'm just going to explain to you how to have access to our Spanish interpreter. And so for those of you who speak English, if you can just wait 1 second, I'm going to translate just in case we have a few families that might have not gone into the channel to have access to the Spanish interpretation. Para los padres que están en la llamada, que necesitan traducción a español, bienvenido a nuestra sesión esta tarde. Para que puedan escuchar esta sesión completamente en español, por favor miren hacia abajo de su pantalla y van a ver un globo. El globo es para que ustedes puedan cambiar el idioma. Ustedes van a poder escuchar un intérprete, 2 intérpretes que tenemos, Luis y Pedro, que van a proveerle toda la información completamente en español. Por favor, vayan al globo hacia abajo de su pantalla, presionen el globo y van a ver las opciones, en este caso que es el idioma en español, y presione español. De una vez van a entrar al canal donde pueden escuchar esta presentación completamente en español. Okay, so I'll go through the norms now. So the presentation will be a webinar format. You will not be able to see each other, only the panelists and the facilitators, as you can see them now. The panelists will try to answer as many questions as possible. Please use the Q&A icon or the raise hand reaction feature if you prefer to ask your question live. I will show you a visual in a few minutes. Prior to asking your question, please state the name of the school you're asking your question. Group poll, actually this is not one, no, so I'm sorry. So the 4th bullet is not correct. All microphones of the attendees will be muted unless the attendee raised their hand to ask their question live. And session will be recorded and posted in the district website. And on the screen, you'll see that we have, we're sharing here what is the website for the district. It's www.providenceschools.org. Okay, so if you see at the very bottom of your screen, you'll see these different icons. And so if you wish to ask your question in writing, please select Q&A. As you can see, it's in red. Press Q&A and you'll be able to write in your question. At the very bottom, if you see the icon raise hand, if you prefer to ask your question live, you can press raise hand. And we will then ask you to please unmute yourself. We are not able to unmute you. So we will call out your name and ask you to please unmute your video. And then finally, you'll see at the very bottom, the chat feature. The chat feature is not available at this time. So make sure that the only time that we will ask you to look at the chat will be for a link, which is a feedback link that we are going to send to you. And basically this link, once you click on it, it'll open up, I believe it's 2 or 3 questions, and it's just asking you questions about the presentation. Was it helpful to you? And so we want to make sure that everyone, before they leave this evening, before they leave the Zoom, to make sure that to give us some feedback, we want to make sure to learn whether or not this was helpful to you, and also some suggestions. We do ask you to provide any other suggestions of topics you might be interested in. And at the end, what we will do is once we are done with questions and answers from our panelists, they will graciously exit our Zoom and we will continue with some giveaways and a live, I think we call it like the Wheel of Fortune, right? But it's actually a way that we can insert all the names of folks that did complete the feedback form, and then they will participate in the giveaways. And the giveaways are $10 gift card to Walmart, and we have 3. So please do not leave once the question and answer section is over. I'm going to now share my screen and proceed with panelists. Okay, so Jennifer, I'm not sure if you're starting, but
I'm starting. Thank you, Janet.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So welcome everyone. Like Janet mentioned, today we're going to be talking about different advanced academic opportunities for our multilingual learner students. Next slide, please, Janet.
If I can, Jennifer, before you go on, I just want to remind, we had several parents that have come on to the Zoom. So just to remind them about having access to the interpretation. Para los padres que acaban de llegar al Zoom, por favor, si miran hacia abajo de su pantalla, van a ver el globo, tener acceso a esta sesión completamente en español. Por favor, presionen el globo y seleccionen el idioma español para que puedan escuchar esta sesión completamente en español. Gracias.
So there will be several people speaking to you today about different programs, but I wanted to start by introducing myself. My name is Jennifer Eflant, and I am the Executive Director of Multilingual Learners here for Providence Public Schools. And there you have a picture of me when I was in 2nd grade. I was also a student in Providence Public Schools and a former multilingual learner myself. So it gives me great joy to be able to present to you all the opportunities that our students have, because I definitely benefited from them, and I feel very grateful for the district and the support that I had from my teachers and my administrators. So I hope this information session is helpful and that you can get a lot of helpful feedback and that you can connect with some of us after the session is done. Next slide, please. So today, I wanted to share with you that as a district, we are very committed to making sure that all of our multilingual learners can participate in programs that are advanced. So I want you to be able to walk away today learning about different programs that your children have the option to attend. We want to have more of our students who are multilingual learners participate in some of the programs that you will hear about today. Next. So currently, Providence has a really wonderful, rich community of learners. More than 50% of all of our students in Providence actually speak more than one language at home. And so we bring multilingual assets with us when we bring them to the classroom. Next slide, please. Oh, you can go back. Here we go. Oh, before that, sorry, Janet, thank you. And when you look at all of our students in Providence, about more than 30% have been identified as multilingual learners. And what that means is that they are currently working to learn English at their grade level. And so they might know another language at home and are still in the process of learning English. Next slide. So right now, even though we have a lot of multilingual learners in the district, very few are actually participating in our advanced academics programs. That's why I want to make sure that as parents of multilingual learners, you are aware of these programs so that you can look out for them and help your children apply for them. Next. So it's very important for you to know what is offered at the district so you can advocate for your child, but also it's important for you to know that even though your child may be learning English right now, they might be in an ESL program or a bilingual dual language program, they're also able to participate in advanced academics programs. Next slide. So you can really have your children do both programs at the same time, and we encourage that. So today, we are going to review some of the different advanced academic opportunities that your child will have by attending the district. You will be able to review some ways that you can support your children in these advanced academics programs. We're going to give you some contact information for the programs, and then we want to answer your questions.
Hi, good evening. I'm really glad to see everybody here tonight. My name is Mary Beth Brazelton, and I'm the supervisor of multilingual instruction and services. I've been in education for over 25 years. I've worked at all grade levels, including college, and I worked as a teacher, an admin, and a district level coach. And I'm really, really excited to be a part of Providence's vision of seeing every student succeed in the district, and particularly excited about what we're presenting tonight, which is to increase advanced academic opportunities for MLL students. So this slide is about thinking outside traditional methods. So you might, as you listen to our speakers tonight, you might be thinking, is my student a good fit for these programs? I'm not so sure. I'd like you to consider that talent shows up in many ways, not just academically. Is your child curious? Are they motivated and not necessarily related to schoolwork or academics? Is there evidence of excelling in art, music, or some other area outside of academics? Are they independent thinkers? Are they creative? Do they have a strong sense of justice? And do they get bored easily? I bet a lot of parents can answer yes to that. These are just some of the ways to think outside of the box when we're identifying talent in students. You could do the next slide, please, Janet. Thank you. So tonight, basically what we're going to look at for the programs are advanced academics, which is short AA, which is grades 6 through 8. Advanced placement classes, which is AP, it's commonly called AP, that's grades 9 through 12. Classical high school, grades 9 through 12. Career and technical education, which is called CTE, and that's also grades 9 through 12. And then finally, the seal of biliteracy, which is students can earn in grades 11 and 12. Next slide, please. Yeah, so some of the advantages of taking advanced academics in high school and also multilingualism for students is that, you know, employees are increasingly looking to hire multilingual candidates. And there's some research that says that bilingualism increases average earnings. So the more proficient you are, it says here in both languages, it could be multiple languages, the more proficient you are in those languages, the more your earnings increase. And of course, it greatly strengthens college applications for students. You can go to the next slide, please. Okay, this is for Ernest.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ernest Cox. Buenas noches, señores. Mi nombre es Ernest Cox. I am the supervisor for advanced academics. My title this year is Supervisor for Opportunity and Educational Enrichment. We currently are offering advanced academics at 4 middle schools: Nathan Bishop, Nathaniel Green, Roger Williams, and next year we will add West Broadway Middle School. We have identified kids who are testers, if you will, and we sent letters home to them. You should have gotten those in the mail. And we're asking people to return the applications by November 12th or as soon as you can, so that we can start processing for the selection of our class for next year. Next slide. We want you to kind of get an understanding of how this is a holistic process. We're not just looking at test scores. That's only a part of this whole process. We look at the report cards, your teacher recommendations, your attendance. We look at the parent nomination and the student inventory. Now, in terms of testing, we have STAR. What we currently use now is STAR. And so if you have an 85th percentile on your STAR in reading or math, that pre-qualifies you. A 4 on the Rhode Island Common Assessment or RICAST. And if you're new to the district, Some people come to us from California, so they may have taken a California achievement test or a Texas achievement test. So those kinds of national tests, if you have an 85th percentile, you pre-qualify and we send a letter to you. But anyone can apply for this program. It's not just those that pre-qualify. And teachers do recommend, so if you feel like you would like your kid involved or your kid would like to get involved, the links to the applications are here. Just let us know and we will be glad to send you an application. Next slide, please. And that was just 6th grade, 8. And once you get to high school, we are offering at most of our high school advanced placement courses. And these are created by the College Board. And if you take the class and you take the exam and pass the exam, you could be given college credit. And this obviously allows you to graduate from high school with college credit, which will certainly reduce the amount of time it takes to finish school. And if you go to the next slide, this taking the AP is earn credit toward college degree, skipping your introductory classes. And it also allows you to gain admissions to more competitive colleges, because when a college looks at a student that has taken AP, it says, okay, this kid is now ready for college. And so that gives you an advantage. And the other issue is all of these costs, the exam costs, are covered by our school district. Does anyone have any questions about the advanced academics or AP classes at this time before we go to the next section?
No questions yet.
Okay. Thank you. Buenas noches. Next slide.
Beth, are you able to present?
Oh,
Yes, I'm here. I just need video, I guess. Good evening. I'm Beth Batty, assistant principal at Classical High School. I'm also the director of admissions at Classical. We are currently in our application process for the class of 2025 in the 9th grade. Next Saturday, this coming Saturday, is our last round of testing for the current 8th grade students in Providence. Any student who is a resident of Providence is eligible to complete complete an application and take the entrance exam. So when we have 9th grade students coming in, they contact their guidance counselor, and then the guidance counselor will send us an application. So that will include a recommendation, the grades from 7th grade, standardized test scores. So that would include RICAS or PSAT. Some of the 8th graders do PSAT. We look at attendance data, but we do not look at residency or any other demographic information. And by residency, I mean, we do not look at where you live in the city. Every student has, no matter their address, has the same opportunity. On the day of the entrance exam, students will take the high school entrance exam, and they will also take the Naglieri nonverbal, which test, which tells us, has no writing in it. It is all problem-solving skills. So students will have the opportunity to, it helps us assess students who are multilingual learners. Next slide. Oh, nope, go back. I guess I only had one slide. So over each year, there's over 1,000 applications for just 300 seats. If a student is not accepted on the first round, which the decisions for those come out, and all decisions come out in mid-January. If a student is not accepted as a student for the upcoming 9th grade, there's two ways. There's an application process, an appeal process, where we look again at 8th grade. We look at all the standardized test scores, including STAR and PSAT grades and grades for 8th grade, and a recommendation letter from the principal of the middle school to Mr. Scott Barr, the principal of Classical High School. Also, we take upper class transfers. Sometimes students aren't ready to come to Classical and jump right feet first into the amount of work that's expected. But we take students on a upper class transfer. They've gone to 9th grade at one of our other schools. They've gotten great grades. Their reading has improved. Their math has improved. And we take them as 10th graders, and they graduate in their 3 years at Classical High School. If there are any questions.
No questions yet.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Next slide.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brett Dickens. I'm the director of CTE for the Providence Public Schools. I describe myself as an evangelist for career and technical education. I became that way when my oldest son attended a vocational school, and it really changed the trajectory of his education and my thinking about education in general. A lot of people, when they think about career and technical education in Providence, they think about PCTA, which is Providence Career and Technical Academy. It's a beautiful school with wonderful programs and great leadership, but it is not the only opportunity for CTE in the Providence schools. We also have CTE programming at 6 other high schools. So at PCTA, we have 12 programs total. 11 of them are open to 8th graders, 5 in the construction area, 2 in hospitality. 1 is a hybrid business cosmetology program, 1 in graphic arts, 1 in pre-engineering, and 1 in automotive. Students that are artsy will find a very happy home at Hope, where there are wonderful programs of visual arts, digital arts, and music. And there's also a JRRTC program, which is not a recruitment for the military, but it is sponsored by the Army. It is a program focused on leadership skills and leadership development with a lot of extracurricular opportunities for students. This year, as I'll speak to in the next slide, the students are taking an EMT certification course, emergency medical tech, to be certified as paramedics at the end of their senior year. At Mount Pleasant, we have 2 programs, Teacher Academy and a pre-engineering program. At Central High School, we have a law and public safety. Those students that are seniors there are taking the EMT course alongside the students from Hope. At Juanita Sanchez, we also have a Teacher Academy, and we have a biomedical program. E-Cubed is a high school that is entirely dedicated going forward to information technology, to computer science. We have a P-Tech program at E-Cubed that allows students to earn their associate's degree while they are still in high school or 1 year after high school. But all of our students that are really interested in technology should take a look at E-Cubed. And being in a small school, whether it's E-Cubed or JSEC, does not limit students' extracurricular activities. Students at E-Cubed, for example, play sports for Hope High School. We also participate in a state, actually national grant called CS4RI, Computer Science for Rhode Island. And we have programs at Central, JSEC, Mount Pleasant, and Alvarez that are supported by the CTE office. We're really excited to announce, given a lot of demand that we've heard from 8th grade students and families, that we will open a nursing program at Alvarez this coming fall. So that is an opportunity for our 8th graders. We will also launch a Teacher Academy at Alvarez. It is the mission of the Providence Public Schools to grow the next generation of educators from the Providence Public Schools. So we now have 3 schools that are focused on teacher academies: JSEC, Alvarez, and Mount Pleasant. And we are preparing educators from everything from early childhood to elementary to secondary education. Next slide, please. Some of the things I just want to emphasize that are new in our district are that we do have the EMT program, and with an EMT certification, a student can be a paramedic, they can be a firefighter, they can be a medic, or they can launch a career in medicine. So that's a really exciting development for this year. I already spoke about our growth in the teacher academies and our nursing program at Alvarez. One of the things that we believe in very strongly based on research in the CTE office is that providing students with work-based learning opportunities, with internships, with any project that allows them to interact with industry and have supervisors outside of the building is going to help their long-term success in their career. And so at PCTA this year, we're building a tiny house with the support of industry right on site. It's a collaboration of 10 of our programs. We also, and I'm sorry that this says potential, because we learned last week that our partner CAP, Community Action Partnership of Providence, was awarded the One Providence Youth Opportunity Grant. And we are able to place 95 students this year in paid internship opportunities with business in the community. Our first group will be starting on November 8th. In industries as diverse as construction. We have some students working with nonprofits. We have really wonderful opportunities, and students will be paid $15 an hour for 100 hours. This is our senior class of CTE students. Next slide, please. We hope that anyone on this call that has a 7th or 8th grader, especially 8th graders, will come to our CTE Fair. It's next Saturday morning at PCTA, 9 o'clock. We will have a table for all 26 programs that we offer in the districts. And those tables will be staffed by teachers. There will be students there to talk about their experience in the program. So we hope that all of our 8th grade families will attend. We have been going around to the middle schools. We're about halfway through the PPSD middle schools, and we've been to some evening events at charter schools, parochial schools to recruit 8th grade students. And hopefully they'll be bringing home to you a flyer for this event. We'll really hope to see you there. If you cannot make that event, we will have a second night for families in the community on Wednesday, December 1st at 6 o'clock in the PCTA cafeteria. Our application is going live next Saturday. We don't want students to apply before they come to the fair and learn about the program. So that application will be live on our website on next Saturday, and it will close on Monday, December 20th. It is an online application that has 2 short essays and some demographic information. We also ask that students go to their Naviance account and take a career cluster survey so that we can learn more about their career interests. Our counselors write recommendations, and we will be inviting students who apply to programs where demand exceeds capacity on January 12th. Everything about CTE is on our website, providenceschools.org/OCTE. And we also, at the top of this slide, have an email where you can contact us, cte@ppsd.org, at any time with questions about the process. So I'll pause here to see if there are any questions about career and technical education in Providence. Thank you so much for your time.
Brett, I think we actually have a hand raised. Give me 1 second.
Okay, great.
So it's going to be Belkis. I'm going to allow her to speak. Belkis,
Sí, buenas noches.
¿tenía una pregunta?
Sí, tengo una pregunta, si se me escucha ahí. Mi inquietud es sobre si esas oportunidades son solamente para los estudiantes o si algún padre que desee también ser parte de esa colaboración que ustedes necesitan para las escuelas, tanto en el nivel inicial como en el nivel primario, tanto en alfabetización en alguna área, si es solo para estudiantes o algún padre en este caso maestro, que tiene el título pero no está trabajando aquí en el país, si también tendría la oportunidad.
So,
Is that question about the fair on Saturday or the evening event on Wednesday?
No, ma'am,
oh, go ahead, Janet.
La
sorry.
feria y también las necesidades que tienen las escuelas para
Okay.
alfabetización y cualquier área, que si es solo para estudiantes o también padres.
Sí, gracias, Belkis. The
Okay.
question is basically if the opportunities that were mentioned, if there are only for students,
Right. Yep.
also available for
Yep.
parents.
Both events are open for students and families. We would love the opportunity to have families join at both events. It is not required. I know that you mentioned, a lot of families are working on those days. Students are welcome to come on their own, but we would prefer an opportunity to interact with parents. So you're welcome to come to both events.
Okay.
I do want to
Okay, gracias.
clarify.
Yeah.
I think she was talking about, she was a former teacher that's currently not working. So I think part of her question was if there was any volunteer opportunity, but I can ask her. Señora, usted estaba preguntando si quería.
Sí, sí, esa también es mi pregunta.
Okay, yeah. So if there's
sorry,
any
I did
volunteer
not hear that part.
opportunities for parents, is that something that would be available? Parent wanted
To volunteer at either of those events?
or just to support the programs?
Absolutely. Any support we can get from the community
That's-
would be wonderful.
Sí, dar soporte. Yo había estado investigando para aplicar como voluntaria o asistente de maestra. Me enviaron un link para llenar, pero estoy todavía, no sé dónde es que tengo que ir a tomar el cursillo, porque yo lo llené online y mandé todo mi resumen y todos los expedientes que me pedían.
Janet, do you know about the process for volunteering in the district?
Yes, Belkis, usted ya completó el proceso.
Sí,
She has already. So I think it's more also, opportunities for employment.
no, está bien la información, solamente quería saber si este programa también calificaba para este tipo de necesidades, porque me gustaría ser parte del soporte en las escuelas, como le dije, en alfabetización o en el área que necesiten.
Okay, gracias, Belkis.
Sí, gracias.
If we can go to the next slide, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rebecca Clausen, and I am the new coordinator for world languages and biliteracy for the district. I am super excited to talk about the seal of biliteracy. I think it's a wonderful opportunity. As you've heard already, being multilingual is a great asset for our students. Not only is it great for college, it's wonderful for employment opportunities later. And the seal of biliteracy is something that students can earn. It is a stamp that will go on to their high school diploma when they graduate from high school that certifies that they are in fact multilingual. And that is something that colleges and employers in the future can look at and recognize. It's a national thing that employers all over the country will recognize what that seal of biliteracy means. And it will hopefully increase their salaries when they find a job someday, and it'll give them some benefits for getting into colleges as well. So it says on here that biliteracy is a critical skill. It is something that employers are most definitely looking for. So to have this seal on their diploma makes them that much more employable by different companies. So the way that you earn the seal, students don't actually have to do anything. They will already naturally within the course of their high school career take 2 different exams. One will be for English. It could be something like the PSAT, the SAT, the ACT, an AP exam, or the Access test. And then they will take another test in Spanish or French or whatever their second language is. We can get a test in just about any language there is. So you can earn that seal of biliteracy in English plus a second language of your choice. If students are multilingual, if they know more than one language, you can even earn multiple seals. And so you could earn a seal for French and Spanish along with English as well. Okay, so students will take that exam as part of school. They don't have to sign up for it or anything. It will just happen in the springtime. They will take that test. And if they score high enough, there are 2 different seals that they can earn. If they're at an intermediate mid-range, they will earn a silver seal of biliteracy. And if they're at an advanced proficiency level, they'll earn a gold seal. And again, those are things that employers will recognize. They'll understand what that means. And they'll understand what the proficiency levels are that are associated with those 2 different seals. Another thing that we're looking into for the future, we won't have it in place quite this year, but hopefully for next year, is something called the Global Seal of Biliteracy. And that's something that you as parents, you could take 2 tests, one in English and one in a second language. And you could also earn this seal of biliteracy. We won't put it on your high school diploma because you're past that, but we could give you a certificate that you could show to employers that proves that you are in fact multilingual. And you could actually ask for a raise by having that certificate. So that could be a really exciting opportunity for different parents. If you need to prove to an employer that you are proficient in English and another language or 2 or 3 or 4. So that's an excellent thing that you could put on a resume, on a job application. So when it comes time in the spring to take those tests, make sure you encourage your students to do it. There's no cost associated. The district will pay for those exams. So it is most definitely worth their time to take that test because it can have great rewards in the future. Does anyone have any questions about the seal of biliteracy?
I have a question, a clarifying question, Rebecca.
Sure.
If you can you clarify, although a student doesn't have to do anything, but they are taking this test or these 2 exams that you mentioned earlier in the spring? So
Yes.
do they have to mention, hey, I want to make sure that I'm able to earn this seal of biliteracy? Like, how does that happen? And if they did earn it by getting a certain grade or passing grade for these exams, how are they informed that they actually earned the biliteracy seal?
Yeah, so students that are non-English speakers will already take the access exam. So we'll already have those scores. And then they can take a second test in Spanish or French or whatever their second language is. So they would ask probably the world language teachers at their school to be given that exam. We'll probably have a day in the future where all the students who want to take that seal of biliteracy exam will take it all together. But they don't have to register ahead of time. They just have to maybe mention to one of their teachers that they want to do it. The teachers will record the scores, and then we send those scores to the Rhode Island Department of Education. And they're the ones that actually send us the seals that we put onto the diploma. So they will certify that the scores are high enough. They'll determine whether it's a silver or a gold seal. So students can probably take the test in 11th grade. If they maybe earn a silver seal in 11th grade and they want to do it again when they're a senior and get a gold seal, perhaps, they can do that too. You can retest and get a higher level. Or if they don't quite meet the criteria, say in 11th grade, if they're not quite there, they don't have the test scores that they need to get the silver seal, they can test again as seniors. There are 4 sections to the language test: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So if they don't do well on one of the 4 sections or on 2 of the 4 sections, they can even just retest those sections too, to try to get a higher score to earn that seal before they graduate. Did that make sense?
Thank you.
You can do the next slide, please. So now that you've heard all these really fabulous programs and you've applied with our help maybe, and all your kids have been accepted, now what? How do we support kids in academics? There's lots of things that we can do. A lot of times to create a safety net, the schools might offer tutoring, student-led study groups, supports that help students access higher level content, language attentive strategies to advantage students with English and continuing English language development throughout. And as parents, and of course, as teachers and educators, we should advocate to receive information regarding the programs and supports for your child, and you should get those in the language that you prefer. You can go to the next slide, please. This is just a resource link. The first one is to the academics, the Advanced Academics webpage. And then the second one, which is also on the Advanced Academic webpage, are the academic forms for Advanced Academics. Those are translated into English, Spanish, Khmer, Creole, Swahili, and Arabic. Did I leave anything out? I don't think so. The Career and Technical Education webpage link is there. And then also the classical high school admissions page. You can go to the next slide, please. So we want to all thank you so much for taking time out tonight to be with us. I know people are really busy. We appreciate your time and feedback if you can give it to us, and we hope it's been helpful. And I mean this from my heart. Please contact any of us for any kind of help you need, application help or more information about any of the programs. And the last slide has, you can go to the next one, sorry, Janet, has the contact information for everybody here, and we will be thrilled to hear from you if you need any more information or any help of any sort. Thank you very much for coming tonight.
Okay, so if one on our Zoom right now, we have about 35 parents on the call. If you have any additional questions or a few questions right before our panelists exit the Zoom, please, you have a few minutes right now to go ahead and either raise your hand or insert a question in the Q&A.
Janet, will this slide be shared with the, or the presentation be shared with the parents?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you.
Since everyone, as you came into the Zoom, we do have all of your emails, and so therefore we'll be able to provide you with this English version of the PowerPoint, but also the Spanish version. Okay, so no questions. Okay, well, thank you. Well, thank you to all our panelists. Thank you so much for spending the past 45 minutes with us. We want to wish you a good evening, and you can actually exit our Zoom right now. We're going to proceed with our giveaways.
Oh, good. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're going to move along and actually open up. We have 3 giveaways, and so just want to make sure. Okay, so these are the giveaways that we are going to now have all of you. If you can look at the chat, we actually have placed a link. And this link, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of our session, is just a few questions where we're asking you, what did you think about this presentation? Was it helpful? And any suggestions of other topics that you would like to learn more about. So then that way we can go ahead and coordinate this for our next spring Parent University session. So if you can go on the link, if you go to the chat, you'll see the link there. Please press that link. It says forms. There's 2 links right now, but one is the Providence Schools website. Do not press that one. So just press the last link that was entered. And once you open that up, once you press on that link, you'll see the list of questions, and they are listed in English and in Spanish. So whoever completes these questions, please make sure not to forget to press submit okay, before you close. And so as you hit submit, we'll be able to see those of you who have entered, and your name will be placed on a wheel. And you'll see that we're giving you about 5 minutes right now to complete the feedback form. And while we wait, and you see the timer on your screen right now, while we wait for you to complete the form, I want to at least make a few announcements. So again, the Parent University is an initiative of the Family and Community Engagement Office, located at 379 Washington Street. And our focus is to make sure that we can build the capacity, the knowledge of parents, to make sure that you become, stronger advocates. And so we have various topics that are being offered for the full session. And the next one that's coming up is actually on November 2nd for your family. Again, it's healthy eating for your family. And those presenters who are coming to share this information are representatives from Sodexo, who is our food vendor, and they provide the breakfast and lunch for our students. But we also will hear from URI Snack. And so they will come together to provide you great information with regard to healthy eating. So on November 2nd, that's already next week. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. And so for the month of November, we will have four different sessions. So one on November 2nd, one on November 10th, another on November 16th, on November 30th. So for us, it's really important to make sure that we get the word out to all of our families. And so please do not disregard our invitations through the text that we send you. We want to make sure that if you know of any family that could benefit from any of these topics, that you also invite them. In those texts that we send you, we also include a link. That link includes the link to get on these Zooms, as you already know, because that's how you were able to get on. You are able to forward that text to any other family that you know of could benefit. So please share the information that we send you at all times to other families. That'll, again, help us make sure that other families are learning about topics that could be helpful for them and their families. And so I just wanted to just make sure that for, as you can see right now, these programs today that you learned from, please make sure that you take advantage of the information that was offered today. Again, as was mentioned, a lot of our MLL students are not taking advantage of these opportunities. We see less applicants. And so we wanted to make sure that we provided you all this information through this session. It is recorded right now, and so we will be posting this information on our website. So thank you so much for joining us today. One more minute, and in a few minutes, you'll see a wheel on your screen. And those of you who did complete the link, you'll see your name on the wheel. So please, you have another.
We have about 5 participants that have completed. I just want to make sure that everybody completes it before the timer is up.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
So again, please, if we can get more folks, we have about 28 individuals on the call right now. So please, can you make sure that you go on the chat? So look at the very bottom of your screen. Click on the chat, and then you'll see a link. Just press that last link that was entered. Again, there's only like 3 questions, 3 or 4 questions on this form. So please make sure, even though the time will run out right now, we want to see the number grow from 5 to at least 10, because we do have 3 giveaways right now. So we want to be able to make sure that most of you complete this input survey and this feedback. Again, it's going to be helpful to us. So if you can just take a few minutes to do that. And again, the information will be helpful to us. Do we have
about 9 entries right now.
Very good. Okay, so we'll just wait a little bit more. Maybe we'll have another 3 people that are finishing up. We'll wait till we have about 10 or 11 entered, and then we'll go ahead and complete and get started with the giveaways. So as soon as we start the giveaways for the 3 prizes, again, the Walmart $10 gift cards, once we announce your name as winners, we are asking you to please make sure that you come and claim your gift card as soon as possible, at least within a week, to make sure that you can come and pick that up. And so I am going to write the address of where we're located on the chat. So please go back to the chat. And you'll see the address there. So in a few minutes, we're going to go ahead and start the process of the giveaways, and we will call out at least 3 parents. And as soon as we call out your name, we will make sure, again, that we're going to be able to at least have your phone number, and we'll be able to give you a call if you do not come and claim the gift card at least within a week. We're almost ready.
Yep, I'm just pasting the names and I'll pull up the window right now. It's a
Very
share
good.
screen. 1 second. So are you able to see the names on the screen?
The address again is 379 Washington Street. Okay, it's gonna spin faster or?
So we can go ahead and do for the first $10 Walmart gift card. I'm gonna go ahead and spin. Once you win, your name is removed from the wheel. You can claim your prize, like Janet said, at 379 Washington Street. We're usually here Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. So the first winner is going to be
All right, congratulations, Leanne Santos. Okay, thank you.
for the second Walmart gift card for $10. Stephanie, again, you can pick that up
Congratulations,
Friday.
Stephanie.
Okay, and lastly, for the last $10 Walmart gift card.
Congratulations, Reina. Okay, so that completes our giveaway section of the Parent University. We want to thank you so much for joining us this evening. And also thank you to our interpreters, Luis and Pedro, for joining us this evening. Thank you and have a good evening.